And German prospect Max Hopp has beaten young Belgian Dimitri van den Berg for the first time, 6-3. But this is the first meeting on the big stage. A few nerves on his TV debut for van den Berg, converting only 20% of his double attempts. Hopp's 1-4-2 check out, the highest of the tournament so far. And the maximiser will be up against one of the local favourites, Scotsman Peter Wright, in the third match of this evening's session. Well, we're approaching the halfway point of the first session of the 2015 World Series Finals. Roby John Rodriguez, Jamie Lewis and now Max Hopp are already through. But who will join them? It'll either be M.Smith or Mark Webster. Here to get them on stage, John McDonald.
Thank you. Welcome back to the action. This is the Unibet World Series of Darts Finals, brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation and coming to you live on ITV Sport from Glasgow, Scotland. Time to meet the players, ladies and gentlemen. The former late side champion, Spider Mark Webster. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the former World Youth Champion, the bully boy, Michael Smith!
Both these players reached the knockout stages of the Grand Slam last week. Michael Smith was knocked out by the eventual winner Michael van Gerwen in the semis, both in good form, but only one can go through. Here are Alan and John.
And this has the makings of a very good match indeed. Michael Smith there, 25 years old. He's establishing himself as one of the leading players in the game. You saw a little kiss for his young son Michael Jr. on the way in. Here with mum, Dagmara, watching in the crowd. And Mark Webster also, a player in some form, 32 years old now, and he was drifting out of the World Top 32, but he's got right back, got to the World Grand Prix semi-finals, and then, as you heard, quarter-finals of the Grand Slam. You hardly hear a bad word about Mark, and it's good to see him winning again.
Yeah, good mates with Mark. We talk about football all the time. We never mention darts, strange enough, but it's good to see him with a smile on his face, and that's what's made the difference with Mark. He's done it on the Pro Tour and played really well and got himself back onto the big TV stage and performed there as well.
A little touch of the dreaded dartitis. He's been working with coach Stephen Feeney to get it right. Stephen, who looks after a variety of sports, snooker players, golfers. He's worked with Stevie Gallagher among others on the golf circuits, and it seems to be working out for Mark Webster.
100.
Michael Smith, though, he's been around a while now. He's only 25, but he's come on through, and he's one of those mentored, managed by Gary Anderson.
Yeah, World Youth Champion a few years ago as well. Young Player of the year after 2014. Now got himself into the top 8 and had that fantastic run, his first semi-final TV PDC event.
Those around him say that becoming a dad, and I'm sure there's a few young dads out there who'll appreciate this. It's kind of given him a bit of focus.
99.
Well, it's certainly part of the ingredient that's got him back to some of his best darts, because he's a solid performer, is Mark. He's a former world champion, as we know.
96.
So he's obviously got the talent there, but he just kind of took his foot off the gas and ended up going down the rankings. But to be fair to him, he's put the hard work in, John.
Yeah.
And he's reaping the benefits.
Yeah, and wins in that Grand Slam against Chizzy and against Big Eddie Lewis to reach those semi-finals. So he's got some good names who he's come
39.
through victorious against.
And in a lot of those games as well, when it got to the nitty-gritty, you know, one of those big finishes or just that last dart at the double, he was taking
57.
them out. Where 6-8 months ago he wasn't doing that.
Mark Webster became a dad earlier this year as well. Baby daughter Ella, wife Sarah here as well. Oh, good switch.
Great switch there from Webby to leave 52, gives himself a great chance.
80, mark require 52.
And what a good start this would be for Webby. 52, tops now. Oh, big dart, and he gets the result that he'd hoped for and takes the early advantage.
And it was good to see as well, because what he's doing is keeping on top of his emotions through the game. He didn't give the large one nerve relief by hitting that last day. He just moved straight to the next leg. He's keeping his focus on the game, and that's really why he's getting in these positions now, because he's getting back to his best, and if he's back 45. To his best, he'll certainly rise up the rankings.
Qualified plumber is Mark, and a former Lakeside champion as well.
140.
Yeah, good to see him back to form. Maybe a lesson for some of the other players who were in a similar position to what Mark was 6-8 months ago. Going to put the work in.
He's supporting Terry Jenkins. He'll bullies in action later on.
Yeah, Terry.
58.
Yet to get over the line in a TV event.
We'd love to hear you saying that, Alan.
Well, he kind of laughs at it now. I think at one point it did affect him, but it's happened so often he just laughs at it now. He said, well, at least I got in that position, which is a fair comment. You know, he's obviously one of the legends of the game in the sense of what he's achieved.
And for a bloke who said he was going to ease back after he turned 50, he's still producing some very handy performances. Webster, meanwhile, is nicely poised to possibly take a two-leg advantage. 61 required.
61.
Yeah, Michael Smith a big scorer, but Mark Webster is a solid performer when he's on form.
Just checking.
Yeah, just looking at the score. Single 3, went for the 25, but he's got one dart at tops. Not this time, he'd be disappointed, but he kept his emotions there. He's not disappointed, he's looking at coming back for the next visit.
Maybe
Will he get one?
Maybe that's the positive thought process which has been instilled in him. Michael Smith misses an opportunity, so Webby gets another chance.
It's okay doing all those things, but you've still got to get the results, haven't you? He's put all the work in, everything we've mentioned there about the positive aspects of the game, but you've still got to get the results, and that's what he's doing. Unlucky there, though.
It was unlucky. It looked like a couple of good markers there. Oh dear, wrong side of the wire. That is good, and that well, see the way he thinks about the way he's playing at the moment, and he knows he kind of got away with that.
Well, not just got away with it, but he's got himself back in the game. You see the grimace on his face there, so a big miss from Webster, because if he had a led 2-0 there, Michael Smith,
97.
His mind would have been so negative, trying to get himself into the game, knows he's missed the chance.
Short format as well, isn't it, Alan? You know, if you take this early advantage, and if your mind is all over the place, only the one break, and it can easily slip away from you so quickly.
Well, it certainly can, and this was one of the first round calls, really, that when these two were put together in this first round, not just two players that everybody knows, but two players in really, really good form. So it was difficult to pick.
Smith was a marginal betting favourite. Not sure this is going to be the case now if Webster goes and cleans up here.
60.
Smith still looking for his first 140.
Well, said at the start, didn't we, John? He's one of the big scorers in the game, which he's proved on many, many occasions. But on this one, it's just not happened. Well, he's going to have to switch. Treble 7 he went for to leave tops. In a great position, Mark Webster. He's put that last leg behind him. The positive thinking we mentioned, John, he's put that last leg out of his mind and moved on to the next one.
54. Tops now for Mark Webster for an 11-dart leg. That's quality throwing by any standards.
Fourth leg is marked, you throw first. Game on.
And all three legs against the throw, incredibly, when you get the standard of these two players.
First 11-darter we've seen today, that.
Well, we've got a fantastic crowd in. We've got George Clooney, maybe his older brother.
He's a bit of a Stuart Pearce lookalike, that lad, isn't he? Surely it's not, it can't be, can it? Old Psycho. Great article in the old Soaraway yesterday
100.
talking about Jamie Vardy from Psycho.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, John.
134.
That's a better visit. It's his highest score of the match so far. Just doesn't look comfortable, Michael Smith. He sometimes has that in his locker, despite that great run in the last event, his best run on TV. You'd think he would take it to the next one, but he always looks like he's on edge.
60.
There's the averages. Webster clearly outscoring Smith at the moment, and Smith just not able to get those big numbers, and he's got to fight the frustration and the irritation and just try and channel his thoughts, because Webster is moving into a
60.
really strong position once more. Maybe just a slight opportunity miss there. Could have done with a treble.
Oh, but Michael Smith, that was a good last one. 18, the reason he moved over to the 18 segment, 18 would have left 130, but he did hit the treble. Should stay there, just want to hit the bull though. Oh, he's done it well, the smile on the face. That so often happens, because you have to aim for the middle of the board. It just shows you how well he's playing.
He is playing well, and Smith, if he gets away with this, it will be one out of the hats. He's looking for the bullseye.
69.
That first dart kind of leant down, didn't it? Straightened up in the board. Double 12. Yeah, solid again from Webster. I have to say the only mistake he's made in this match so far was the 3 darts at double 10. To give Smith his first leg, but Smith starting to make his move, starting to score better.
It's his first ton 40. Yet to hit a maximum. It's not lying well, having to adjust once more.
42.
He knows that was not vintage.
Certainly wasn't. Smith looked like he's getting into a bit more of a floor, but disappointed with that last one. Went for treble 17.
This is more like it.
He's got all the bed to aim at, hasn't he? From that angle. Yeah.
Lovely darts. An appreciative crowd cheering for the Welshman.
They're certainly tightening the screw on Michael Smith. This is a big leg for both players. 4-1 or 3-2 at the break, as we all know that's massive. Some positive thoughts that you would have taken into the interval
60.
coming out for the second half will change.
Just squeeze the treble there. Advantage still with Smith here. Got to hang on to this leg, you sense.
Well, his score certainly improved. Hadn't it at 140 before this leg? Is it 2 now?
134.
Webster on his tail.
It's good like this. Well poised. Tops now. Big dart.
39.
And the big man misses.
Oh, this is a visit that could change everything for Mark Webster. Oh, has to hit a treble now. Hasn't done it. Mistake.
45.
So Smith tops for 3-2, keeping him in the game. Tens. Oh dear. Oh yes. Well, he made heavy weather of it, but he got the leg that he so badly needed. Webster's got the break, and he leads at this break by 3 legs to 2.